In this video I am in sunny Warsaw and I'm talking about this nifty 50 really. It is Fuji 33mm f1.4 R LM WR. It is 33mm f1.4 lens for Fuji X mount. In this video I'll tell you what this lens is good for, who it is good for, and what I think about it. So keep watching, don't skip, and I'll tell you more about it. 33mm f1.4 Fuji. It is APS-C lens, and in a real world, in a full frame scenario, this is 50mm. So it is in reality 50mm nifty 50 on any Fuji camera. It is one of those lenses that it is good pretty much for everything. It is a standard focal length. It is a lens that can be used for all kinds of photography or videography because that focal length, the 50mm, 33mm in this case, it is a standard field of view. What you see, what you get pretty much, it is very similar to what we see with naked eye. So that's why it is more versatile than most of other prime lenses, because you get what you see. So what would you use it for? You'd use it for portrait photography. You do get a really nice subject to background separation. Use it for landscape, street photography, or any other kind of photography. You need that versatility of standard field of view. What means standard field of view? It means that it is similar to what we see, but also it doesn't distort the perspective. So whatever you photograph, when you get some closer to your subject, or just generally speaking, it shows the world as is. So it doesn't distort, doesn't bulge, or doesn't look weird on your photos or video. How does it perform? Strangely, it is not one of those super sharp lenses, in my opinion. I have seen sharper lenses than this, but it's not sharp. It actually performs well. It does give you more character. It performs more like a vintage lens, good vintage lens. It gives you that slight softness, which makes the photos look less digital and more arty, or more like film, good film. So it is not super sharp. The autofocus works pretty good. It's fast, it's very silent, it's very accurate, and yeah, no complaints there at all. Chromatic aberration is very small, nothing to complain about. It is visible, like with all wide aperture primes like this in this price range, but it's not tragically bad. It's not something that ruins your photos or something that you have to worry about. The bokeh is nice, smooth-ish. It's not the smoothest bokeh you're gonna ever see, but it's smooth enough. It's slightly swirly also, which adds some character to the lens and images it produces. It is also a great lens for videos. It's very small, as all Fuji lenses, pretty much standard size. It is easy to bounce on a gimbal. It's easy to use for handheld shooting video. The autofocusing works as you would expect from any Fuji camera. It is reliable, it is decent, and it is silent, so when you record the audio on the camera, it doesn't interfere. The autofocusing doesn't interfere with the audio. There's no focus breathing visible, which is very good if you plan to film with this lens and you want to change your focusing from something close to something further away. There's none of that breathing or zooming in effect when you change your focusing from something close to something further away. Pretty nice and unusual, I'd say, for this price range. All in all, great lens for pretty much everything. All rounder when it comes to video is this focal length, which gives you great subject to background separation. Is the one focal length I personally like for filming talking head myself, or interviews, for example. It's because of that natural feeling, natural look it gives you. The build, it is a very nice, slick looking lens, pretty much standard Fuji. That kind of metal looking plastic, nice looking, small. It's definitely a small lens. It weighs only 400 grams, which is very decent for the lens of this size, or any lens really in reality. It has got only one switch and an aperture, manual aperture ring, which can be set to auto, to A, to automatically control aperture via the camera, and the lock switch, so you can basically lock it in auto or out of auto. This lock switch is a bit fiddly. It's sometimes hard to press in or engage to lock it. It is a fully weather-resistant design, weatherproof, splash resistant and dust resistant, and it's also proofed to -10 degrees, so you can take it into the ice and cold and you won't freeze. So it's a good thing to know if you live in a cold countries, or you tend to shoot with it in a very cold environment. The focus ring is firm. It's nothing special or something unusual. It's decent. Filter thread, small front element, 58mm filter thread, so the purchasing of filters and defilters, circular filters, is not expensive or less expensive. Price and value for money, It's not the cheapest lens, but it is good value for money in my opinion. It delivers very good quality. It is sharp-ish, good color and contrast. It is small also, and pretty much only 33mm for Fuji or 50mm focal length you can buy. It costs £699 in UK or $799 in US. Yeah, as I said, it's not dirt cheap, but comparing to other lenses, other brands, even Fuji lenses, for quality Fuji lenses, you pay more. It is kind of an average price for the lens in this class. Conclusion: is this lens worth buying? I really think so. Personally, I am a big fan of this focal length, the 50mm, 33mm on APS-C sensor. It is a lens that is good enough for portrait, street photography and all kinds of photography. And in my personal experience, it is a lens that when I take a picture with, it delivers what I see with naked eye, and because of that, it's easier to use. It's literally, if you take it out with you and you see something and you take a picture, you don't have to think, oh, this is too wide, too narrow. It just delivers the results you expected from it. A good color, good contrast, but it's not the sharpest lens on the block, but that's a good thing. It's not sharp, but it delivers really nice results. It's film-like. It is easy to use, no buttons, no switches. It's straightforward. You basically point and shoot, and what you get when you point and shoot is very nice. It is a lens that reminds me vintage lenses like Canon FD lenses, for example, because the quality is nice. The sharpness is slightly missing, but it's still good enough. The color is beautiful, definitely worth Fuji name on it, and it is a lens easy to use, small and light as well, and it is a lens that pretty much everyone who shoots with Fuji should at least try. But I think it is a brilliant lens. This is the lens I will be definitely using on my Fuji camera because it is a standard nifty 50. And this is it from me. I hope this video was in some way helpful or informative. If it was, please give me the thumbs up. Follow me on Instagram and please consider subscribing. Thank you for watching and I'll see you next time. We are in Warsaw. Good segment, good segment. My assistant is distracting me from filming this video. You fired. You fired. It costs £699 in UK or $799. It costs $699 in no. Never record on the street. There'll be always one making noise.